You see, nowadays, the big problem within the advertising space is that a lot of people recreate ads just because they think they look good. And that kind of defeats the purpose of a swap file. Nowadays, people feel like a swap file simply is about taking an ad you like and recreating it for the sake of looking good. But I'm here to show you where exactly do we fit ad swap files like foreplay.co, which we've been using for a while at our marketing agency, paidadvertising.com. So where does it fit exactly within the process, and how should you be utilizing swap files instead of just blatantly copying ads that you see on there, but in fact taking the right inspiration from it? So without further ado, let me show you where foreplay.co fits within our ad process. If you don't know who I am, my name is Justin and I'm the founder at paidadvertising.com, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. So let's get straight into it. Foreplay.co is what they call it, the complete winning ad workflow. So this is one of the most popular swap file or ad saving platform that there is in the DTC space, at least. They really popped off in the last year or so when they did the rebrand from Addison to Foreplay in 2022. There's a bunch of other options out there. There's some cheaper to some more expensive ones. I just honestly have been with Foreplay for such a long time that we've decided to keep on going with them. So let me log in real quick and I'll show you exactly how we use it. Shameless plug, but if you go to foreplay.co/experts/Justin-Lalonde, you would actually see my swap file, allowing you to see on a weekly basis all the new ads that I save on my own Foreplay account. Okay, so with that said, it brings me on to how do we actually utilize that internally. So one of the main reasons for which we use Foreplay internally is for our creative brainstorm sessions. So every single Wednesday, we have a 30-minute call where all of our ad editors and creative specialists that we have at the agency, they both essentially need to come up with a series of ad examples they think would look good for their clients. Which you might be asking, well, Justin, doesn't that go against what you just said at the beginning of this video? It does, but bear with me for a second. I'll get back essentially to why it now makes sense. So every single Wednesday, we have a 30-minute call that we call a creative brainstorm call. So that call internally starts with every ad editor and every creative specialist that presents different ad inspirations for their specific client accounts. So as an example, I'm going to show you one of the latest one that we had on July 19th right here, which this is one of our ad editors who saved all of these ads you're seeing on screen right now for client accounts she was managing. So with that being said, the goal here is to spark that creative brain of ours, right? Oftentimes, if you're not having quality input or no inputs at all, it becomes very hard for you to be inspired as a designer. So my good friend Serge Guattari actually speaks about this kind of business framework that he's discovered, which is the value equals speeds of learning as well as speed of implementation. I believe the same thing is right when it comes to the e-commerce space, right? There needs to be, like, speed of implementation is key, but you have to have some input. You have to have some learning at some point. And we try to have this feedback loop happening at least once a week where we all sit down together for about half an hour and look at different trends, look at different ads that are popping off right now within the space or that could be used with our clients. So that said, you do have a couple examples right here on screen right now of ads that we've saved yesterday for specific clients of ours. Now here's the thing, if I go back to what I said at the start of this video, I said that you can't really use that just because it looks good, right? You shouldn't create an ad because it looks good. And I've defended that point for so long now on the channel where without even thinking about it, 99% of the marketers out there are simply imitating. They find an ad that they like, they're just gonna recreate the exact same thing for their brand, which is gonna look something along those lines. I see this ad from Period Company. I sell period underwear. I'm gonna put my logo here at the bottom, put my period underwear here, and say it's over tampons. That's how 99% of marketers actually do it. Or they're gonna see the same thing here. Instead of learn Facebook ads today, they're gonna be like learn TikTok ads today, and then they're gonna switch the logo right here and switch the picture. Like, that's about it. But nobody really asks themselves the question of the awareness level of their audience, the sophistication stage, the types of angle, headline, desire they want to attack, which I've done a bunch of different videos on that, which you can check out on the channel. So that's not the point of this video, but my point is saying, like, there is still a time and place for your swap file. It just simply shouldn't be the first thing you do when creating ads. In fact, it should be one of the last things that you do when creating ads. The first thing that we do in our ad process at paidadvertising.com is do what we call our research center. Basically what the research center is, it's a Google Sheet where we take the time to really dive deep into the audience, the persona that we're trying to target, the desire, the awareness level, sophistication. Once we've gone through all of that, then we'll go look into the ad accounts of the client and then decide like what type of ad format we want to do. Do we want to do UGC, static, video, whatnot? And then we'll get into foreplay and then start browsing the different ad libraries of brands in the same market or even in different markets and find an ad that is suitable. Now, what this exercise that we do every single Wednesday helps us do as a team is it helps us create like our own bank of pre-vetted creatives. Because to be honest, it can get pretty overwhelming. There's like over 500,000 ads that have been saved through time on foreplay. They have the discovery tab. Look, you can pretty much search for everything and anything in there, but it might not be like, it might be quite time consuming to do so. And what we'd rather do is already have, as an example, these weekly brainstorm sessions that gives us a couple different ads that we can refer to in our week. So if it just so happens that I've now just created an ad concept in my research center, that now I open up my swap file here on foreplay and I can see an ad that would fit with the concept I made, and not the other way around. I'm not making my concept fit the ad, rather I'm making sure that the ad fits my concept, right? So if I can see an ad type right here that would be best suitable for the concept I just made, then I can just quickly pick it from what I have right here. So that's one of the things that we use essentially these foreplay swap files for. Now, second thing that we might use this foreplay swap file for in that context is for our ad editors to develop a stronger sense of editing capabilities and industry knowledge. So I've heard many times over from some of our team members that, you know, they've had a hard time understanding the marketing basics. And I'm talking about ad editors, right? Ad editors oftentimes come from a design or a motion graphics background. And if they aren't really well versed into the sphere that you're onboarding them in, it might be hard for them to adapt. At the end of the day, keep in mind, they're the painters, and I think of those as artists. It's like you have in our team a creative specialist that does all of the strategy, analyze the data, and make sure that they come up with a fundamentally sound concept. Great. They also come up with the right examples for the ad. Great. But nonetheless, the person that makes this vision a reality needs to understand the overall marketing sphere, and to give them this exercise weekly of them finding ad examples and then having to justify these ad examples in front of the team helps us increase their marketing senses, essentially. Now, I personally don't use the briefs feature. I know some people do, which you could essentially create a brief right here that you could send to an incense creator or somebody essentially, UGC creator, your editing team even, or whatnot. Again, we don't really do that on our side, but could be something interesting for you if you're looking for that functionality. So for me, foreplay really is a tool of ad inspiration internally, and then picking out from the over 500,000 ads that we have available on the platform to create more of a personalized and tailored swap file internally for our specific brands that we have at the agency. And the whole point of this video is to tailor back on a whole series of recent videos where I've been talking a lot about fundamentals and how you should not even look at ad inspo. And I'm coming here today to say, like, you should just later, like, do that as one of the last steps you do in your ad process, or do so as one of the first steps, but don't even really think about it when making a concept. Just do so to spark your creative senses. Do so to have more inspiration when creating it. But really, you should always focus on saving at least like 10 or more ad inspirations weekly, in my opinion. Because if you have too few, then you're probably going to be brought to try and copy them. If you have too many, then you're just going to be diluting your creative senses. You'll be kind of going in too many different directions. You should aim for about 10 to a dozen of these examples saved weekly on your foreplay swap files. And I highly recommend, regardless of what type of team structure you have, if you're a brand or if you're an agency, just make sure that you have at least a weekly creative brainstorm session. It really helps, in our experience, enhance the creative quality that we can produce internally. Talking about creative quality, there will be our mini course linked down below in our school community, completely free of charge. There's over a dozen modules that talk purely about creative editing, utilizing AI within the creative process and whatnot. So check this out down below and apply that for your brand or agency starting today. And if you've watched this video all the way up to this point and you are an e-commerce brand owner making at least $50,000 a month with your brand, check out the description below and book in a call to speak with our team. We'd love to run your ads and produce all of your ad creatives and UGCs. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.